Going to do a video on pages and posts, and we're just going to go through the process in a very generic way. Your site or your theme might have specific extra elements like short codes or things like that that you may be able to add to your pages, but we're just going to have a look at a pretty bare bones site. We're going to look at blog posts, and we're going to look at pages, and just simply adding text and images and categories and to your blog posts. So as always, WordPress, all of your navigation is over here on your left. This one, as I said, is pretty bare bones site, so your site may look a little bit different than this, but all WordPress sites would have the posts, and all WordPress sites would have the pages. So if we look at posts, posts are simply the blog posts. And basically, we could just add a new blog post, and we'll just title it Test Post. And we would enter our text here. That would be where your content is. In this case, I don't have very many buttons on my navigation. So if I press this icon here, it's the kitchen sink, and it just gives me a little bit more, gives me the full set of icons. So essentially, you could do all sorts of things with your text. You know, you could bold and italicize. You can create a list, which is, you know, an unordered list. So every time you can do a carriage return to, you would have, you know, all your lists, and then if you wanted to align text, you would just hit that thing. So it's a very, very straightforward editing board, something really simple, something very much like Word or any of the editing, even Outlook or any editing program. We do have styles. We have headings and paragraph text, and you really want to use headings because the search engines like headings just in terms of searching for relevant text or relevant content. They will pay attention to heading tags, so you want to use as much as possible rather than just creating a bold text or whatever. You want to try to use heading text when you actually have headings. So those are just a few of the styling elements. If you wanted to change a particular color of a word, then you could do it here. So this is the basics of text. If I wanted to add a link to text, so let's say I want to say click here and I want to connect that to something, I would just select that text and insert a link. And essentially you have a couple different types of links that you can create. One would be just a link to an outside site. So I want to click and I want it to go over to Google. If that's the case, then you want to make sure that you open the link in a new window or tab, because any link that you create that takes someone off of your website, you want to have it open in a new window or tab. If you're linking to something within your website, some content within your website, you could go and find it here. You can just go or link to existing content, and if I just simply select whichever page I want to link it to, then it just links it to that page, and you don't do the open in a new window or tab. Of course, this only has 2 pages, but yours may have a whole pile, and if you do and you can't find your page, just search it by, you know, the About Us, and then you'll be able to hone it down a little tighter to, because most sites have, you know, at least more than 20 pages. If you want to do an email link, what you would do is something called a mail to, so M-A-I-L-T-O and a colon, and then whatever. So whatever the address is that you want that link to go to, and then I would just add it as a link. And then what that does is if I click that link, then it's going to open up an Outlook or whatever um, email thing so that I can begin writing to that particular email address that I've done the mail to link. And if we, in this case, I've just done a post and I'm going to publish it and just to go and check it out. So if I go view that post, then I can see what that looks like. If I just click here, that was the mail to, and then that actually pulls up the email address that I set it to. So those are basic, your basic theory about adding links to a page. You can add links to images as well if you wanted. One of the things that you also want to do if it's a post is you want to add it to a category, and that's just to help sort through once we display the posts and we have the categories, and someone can sort through your blog post by categories. So you can easily do that by just adding a new category, and we can just, whatever we want to call this, and we just add it like that, and then this one is now added to the green food category. So that's typically for blog posts, you add them to categories. The interesting thing about blog posts is you can actually publish them forward. So let's say you are going to write all your blog posts for the month on the first day of the month, but you want them scheduled to go every Monday. You could actually use this feature over here, which is essentially if I want this published on February 29th, it's actually not going to show up as a blog post. It's just going to be, it's going to be probably not February 29th. So now it's just scheduled for February 29th. So when you put the date forward from the date that that actually is today, then it's scheduled to publish it on that day. So in this case, we want to just publish it today. So you can see that now it's just updating. So if I create some more information on this page, I just need to hit the update, and that saves the page. If I want to add an image, I'll use this Add Media button here, and I either come and pick an image from the ones that are already updated, or I can come in and I can add an image. Just add an image, and it uploads the image, and then it brings it over here, and you can choose to align it left or right. You can choose, typically you want it to be the full size of what you uploaded, but in this case it's a pretty big image, so I'm just going to do a medium, and then I'm going to insert it into the post, and then you'll see that I didn't align it anyway, so I gave it no alignment, so that's just shows you what happens is the text does not wrap around the image when I give it no alignment. If I give it a left alignment, then now I have my text that actually wraps itself around the image. If you're not happy with how the results, you would just click the image, and then you'd be able to use this little icon here to rejig this. And so I want it to be on the right because it's kind of getting interfered with the bullet points. And one of the things that's interesting is you can actually give it a little bit of space here, vertical and horizontal space, which means that the text will wrap a little less tightly to the image, which typically you want to do. You can also give the image a border. That's just a pixel size. So a pixel size of 1 is pretty good, or nothing. So now you can see my image is aligned over to the right, and you can see that there's a little more space between the text and the image itself. So pretty straightforward. Whenever I do changes on a page, I just want to always make sure that I update it. Pages are another type of content, and typically pages are Typically, pages are the things that we have off of our menu, and like the main navigation items or sub-navigation items. And typically, posts are all pulled in as on a single page, which would be the blog page, which would have the excerpt of the blog, and then you click in and go to that post. So if we just add a new page here, I'm just going to do About Us. You'll see that the editing platform is very much the same. So you would add your images through the Media Manager. You would format any text here. The only difference is it doesn't have the categories, because pages are typically not categorized. They're just pages. So once you've done what you wanted to do on the page, you just publish it. And now when I go to my All Pages, I see that I have a couple pages now. So essentially, that's it for pages and posts. Just because you have a page doesn't mean that it shows up on the menu. I added a new page called About Us, and I still only have the one item that I put on my menu. So what you need to do once you've created a page and you're ready for that page to be seen, you come under Appearance and you come over to Menus. And now you can see that essentially I have a menu and it's got one item, which is the home item. So I want to add the About Us, or that I just add that to the menu and it just adds it to the bottom. If I indent it, that means that it's a sub-menu item of home. If it's at the same level to the left, then that means it's a main item. So I would just save my menu. You could create a link to a specific category of blog posts. Let's say I wanted all of the green food items to actually be on the menu. So I would add it to the menu. So that's just going to pull up any post that's in that category. But let's say I didn't necessarily want it to say green food, which is the name of my category. I would want it to say organic items. I can actually change what it says on the navigation, even though I'm pointing it to a specific page. So you have a little control about how it shows up on the navigation. Let's say I want my page to be called About Us, but on the navigation I just want it to say About. Then I can just change the wording of it, but it doesn't change where it's pointing to. Always save your menu, and then when you come back and you go visit your site, you can see now I've got my menu items here on now they're showing up there. And if I can show you how you do a submenu. Just push it over, and now you can see that this is now a submenu where I added it under Home instead of a main menu item. So that's essentially it, pages and posts, and then how you actually add them to your menu bar.